Good evening, my name's Ryan Willard, I'm an architect for Thinking Hand Studio, and this evening you can see I'm standing at the foot of the Empire State Building, and I'm walking around Midtown Manhattan at the moment, and I'm reminded of the quote from Christopher Wren, the British architect, the English architect, that architecture aims for eternity. And for me, New York is one of these incredible cities. The diversity, the energy that's in the streets is a kind of representation of the energy of all of its people. And you see these towers, these almighty monuments to economic prosperity, to the American dream, to people's individual aspirations. And so many of the people that created these buildings were striving for something beyond themselves. They were striving for an eternal legacy. They were creating something big and massive. New York, for me, it aims for eternity. It points to something for eternity, but it's not in the sense of creating architecture that lasts forever. It's actually as a result, the cumulative effect of all of the buildings together, the city as a whole, the kind of grand composition of the whole entire island of Manhattan. When you step back and see it, there's something magnificent about it, which points towards the human potential and how amazing we are as beings. And I'm reminded, particularly on a day like this, how architecture has the power to point towards the eternity, how architecture can aim for eternity through just something simple like the light. New York is a city full of the most majestic shadows that you will ever see. Shadows which are the sizes of mountains, essentially, creeping across the cityscape, as if New York was designed as a gigantic, monolithic pen built by an ancient people to demarcate the passage of time and to mark out the seasons. And what I mean by that is, you look like an evening like tonight, you can quite clearly see the most beautiful, majestic shadows creeping across the faces of the buildings. You can see the most phenomenal sunlight just bursting through the streets and erupting on, splashing all over the edges and facades of, these kind of great grand structures. And whenever you're kind of come into contact with that sort of magnitude of light and a celebration of light, you become aware of how it's moving. And obviously, once you're aware of the movement of light, you become aware of the planetary motion of our Earth that goes around the sun, and it starts to connect us with something bigger. It starts to connect us with something grander, something eternal, something very, very deep and very, very inspiring. And New York does that beautifully, and every time I see it, it really does make me sort of step back and have a sense of wonder. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and I will tell you some more about the beauty of New York soon.